Hey guys, we just wanted to put together a video showing how we went to Halloween Horror Nights 30 with all houses, shows, and scare zones done in a singular night without Express Pass. I've seen a bunch of comments on forums, YouTube videos, Facebook on how a lot of people think it's impossible to apparently see everything in one night. We did it pretty much with little trouble, and we actually messed up in the beginning a little bit. So we want to give a house by house and show by show breakdown of the times we were in and out, and maybe it'll help someone else get through everything in a single
without
night.
spending $180 extra.
Yeah, which is totally possible. So get right into it with our top 5 tips to follow if you don't follow our exact pathing in this video, or our recommended pathing that I'll mention on one of the early houses. I would say at least follow these 5 tips and you're probably in a pretty good position to get through everything in a singular night.
So again, our top 5 tips are for people who aren't using the Express Pass. If you do, you're not as stressed for time. But assuming you don't want to spend the over $100 on Express Pass, which you don't think you need, get a day pass or a Scream Early ticket if you can. So you can wait in the stay and Scream areas, the holding pens, to get through 1, 2, sometimes even 3 houses before the event officially opens. Tip 2 is to see the first or last show of the night, particularly the dance show, which sometimes you need to get in early to solidify a seat. The first or last show are the least busy of the night, so those are the ones that you try to hit if you can. We see so many people stand in long food or drink lines. If there's more than even a handful of people, try another line or try another time. It's really a waste of time to stand too long for food or drinks. We didn't wait that long at all. In the same vein, don't join any house line over 60 minutes. You have 10 houses here, typically only 8 hours or less to go through them. Anything over an hour is you're setting yourself back. And then finally, take advantage of the first and last hour of the night. The first hour being that stay and Scream area to get through 2 or 3 houses. And the last hour is pretty much walk-on for most houses. So any of those houses, as I said in tip 4, that are over 60 minutes during the main part of the night, revisit them at the end of the night, and there's a very good chance they'll be way under an hour by then. So here we are entering on September 4th. This is the day after opening night, September 3rd, which rained, which is kind of tradition at this point for Halloween Horror Nights opening nights. Luckily a good day. On the brochure you see it says you can't do it all in one night. Well, we're going to prove that wrong right now. This is the white tent area, the entrance into this stay and Scream pen area, which I'll show on a map here. The yellow highlighted streets are the entire pen area. There's another pen area at the back of the park, but this is the one we decided to stay in. This will get you into Bride of Frankenstein Lives or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So you enter in through those white tents. Those are really the only entrance. Come down this way, down the street with Finnegan's on it, which Finnegan's and the food vendors are open if you want to grab a bite before they release and you are running through houses. Go down this street and make a right, and you'll come across these 2 signs. We decided to stand in the Bride of Frankenstein Lives line, which is straight ahead to the slight left there. And that was the wrong move. If you are going to follow our pathing, I would say go to the right here and go on Texas Chainsaw, which was a much more busy line and one that you want to get through first.
Okay, so Bride of Frankenstein Lives. This is the first house we hit. Time in 5:40 is when they kind of released the pen and let us all in there, and we breezed through it within 10 minutes. Pretty
We were
good
the first, probably about 50 people in line. First 5 people in line, actually.
And this was pretty good. I liked the very start of the house with Bride of Frankenstein. Big structure off of Frankenstein who's dead. And the rest of the house, this was similar to the house last year, or it's the exact same house
Same
from
house as last year.
So we kind of went through this then, but still well done. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre was next. We went there immediately after Bride of Frankenstein Lives. Got there 5 minutes after we got out of the previous house. This one was a bit longer. It was definitely the more popular of the two. So it took about 35 minutes to get through. So overall, still quick. By the time we got out at 6:25, that's just about when they were releasing the main gate for general entry to the event. So we tried heading to the back right after this. But as for the house itself, it was kind of blank. Felt a little empty.
I feel like there was definitely a lot of scares that we missed. This is definitely a house I want to hit again in October a few times, because I feel like we just missed a lot. I don't know if that people got different experiences, but it just felt so empty.
Yeah,
I thought
it did have a bunch of different Leatherfaces. Like they were. I mean, it was pretty much all Leatherface in different costumes, but and it did follow the movie. But other than that, just compared to the detail of the other houses, it felt a little more empty. But still a good house overall.
And I wouldn't really wait too long for this one, honestly. Compared to the other ones, this one's definitely on the lower end of my list of favorites.
Okay, so next one, right after Texas Chainsaw, we went to Haunting of Hill House. Went right to the back of the park to try to beat the crowd, which has now been released at this point.
Which didn't really work.
No, not that much. We got in at 6:35. It was pretty much the longest wait of the night for us at just under an hour.
Wait time only posted 20 minutes, which ended up being completely wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of expected this a bit for it being a newer IP that probably a lot of people have watched recently and wanted to go to.
Yeah, but definitely a must-not-miss house. Definitely in my top 3. There was one particular room where it was like pitch black. They had some sort of like soundproofing things on the hallway, and it was really narrow, which really freaked me out. And especially if you're coming in during the daytime into this house, you will not know where you're going. It is completely pitch black.
Yeah, a couple good kind of jump scary things with the bent neck lady falling down, getting hanged. But no, really good house, true to the TV series, and it's one that we actually ended up seeing a second time at the very end of the night, just to get a second look at it. So definitely a must-do, I'd say.
Yeah.
And this show, for those who have been to previous shows, past 2 years, were, what was it called? Academy of Villains,
which I loved good. Academy of Villains, but I know there was some conflict going on with them, so I mean, I get why they weren't there.
Wasn't as good as Academy of Villains.
Or Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted, I mean, a different kind of show, but Bill and Ted is
there was still a few magic tricks towards the beginning and the end, but the rest was kind of just, I mean, I definitely see it, but if there is something you have to take out of your night, it was okay.
Yeah. So we got in to the pen for getting into the show at 7:40, and then the show's about half an hour. The first show is at 8 o'clock, so we got out right at 8:30.
So after the Nightmare Fuel show, we went back to the front of the park. We were kind of running back and forth a little bit, which is different than we normally do it. We usually kind of just do a circle. We went back up to Case Files Unearthed, which ended up being probably one of my favorites of the night. Definitely in my top 2, and we only waited for less than half an hour for this house. But it was definitely very like Nancy Drew, Sherlock Holmes themed vibe that I got, which is definitely some of my favorite genres. So this is definitely one you should make a priority of the night, I think.
Yeah, it was a bunch of different kind of private eye novel-like things before you enter each room, and then that room is based on the kind of cover art of the novel. It was different. It was typically lower in wait time for most of the night, so a good one to kind of hit during the most busy time of the night. At least today we went. I assume those will be pretty much consistent throughout the rest of the event. But yeah, overall, also a pretty good house, pretty solid. So next up is Scary. This is supposed to be Cary, Ohio. This one was kind of a shock on how long the line was when we initially went into it. We thought it was going to be a little quicker. It ended up, again, being almost an hour.
Yeah, and I noticed at least at the boards, if they said a short time, the wait ended up being a long time, and if they said a long time, the wait ended up being a short time. So they were kind of all over the place with the wait times.
Yeah, you kind of have to go by sight almost. If the wine's coming out of the actual wine area, that's probably a no-go. But yeah, the signs aren't everything, at least. But either way, it didn't hurt us too much. Got out by 10:35. Again, decent house.
There's definitely a lot to this house. I definitely want to do this again in October because every room is like a different theme of Halloween Horror Nights past. So I feel like we missed a lot, probably.
Yeah, we saw this one twice, too.
Yeah.
We went back at the very, very end of the night, and I really don't even remember that much from it. I know there was kind of a lot going on, but some singular things I can't really point out. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was worth a second trip, at least for us. So in the moment, we thought it was pretty good. Immediately after Scary, we went right to Wicked Growth, which in most people's opinions, from what I've seen online, is the top house, and at least I agree. It was extremely detailed, some really unique characters in the house. And
the entry is definitely the coolest of the night.
Yeah, best entry. And the time for us was quick. This was one of the longer houses for at least part of the night. And we got in and out in 20 minutes. So definitely worth it. And this was, again, another one that we went to a second time. Right at the end of the night, I think we got out at like exactly
2 a.m.
the
exactly.
time the event closed. But it was worth it. Definitely number one in my book. And I think it's your top three.
Number 4 in my book.
Okay, top 3, top 4, yeah.
All right, so Puppet Theater. This is the one I honestly was most excited for, and I'm not even slightly kidding when I say I do not remember a thing from this house. I don't know what happened if I got into this house and like blacked out, but I can't even tell you what one room looked like. So this is definitely one that I feel like I'm gonna have to do a few more times. But I have no recollection of this whatsoever. Do you? Or?
I remember some of it. I mean, it was pretty detailed, but it just wasn't what I was expecting in terms of what puppet theater. I thought it'd be more puppet themed. I mean, it was more like theater themed than puppet. There was like a ballerina in there, I think.
I didn't see a ballerina.
Oh, well, there was. But no, it was still good. I mean, I remember coming out of it. It was still pretty cool.
And it was only a 15-minute wait, so not even.
Yeah. The facade is pretty cool. But yeah, not too memorable, at least compared to the others. So.
So after Puppets, we immediately got food and drinks. We knew we were going to walk over to the lagoon and watch the show, so we figured it was a good time just to get all that done. I ended up getting one of the exclusive drinks. I forget which one it was. And then we went to the, chicken sandwich stands. I got a buffalo chicken sandwich. He got a barbecue chicken sandwich. And then we just sat in front of the lagoon and watched the marathon fountain show. And I mean, it's a fountain show. Nothing crazy, I didn't think.
Yeah, I mean, cool,
Yeah.
but very short. It's a 10-minute show.
I don't think the shows are really the draw for this year.
No, not the other years. But this one you could walk into pretty much at the time it starts. I don't think they really cut off the line or anything. We came in 5 minutes before, and all said and done, it took us 15 minutes, including a 5-minute wait to see the show. So we were in and out.
And we got drinks and we ate, so it worked out. All right, so after the show, we went over to the Icons house, which was my favorite house of the night. Only thing for this, I noticed that the attendants were very... I don't even know how to say it. The attendants were very in the middle of everything. There was multiple rooms that they were just standing right in the middle of the scene, and I feel like we missed out on a lot. At the end, there's like a scene where Jack is like on his throne, and the second I walked into that room, there was literally no one in front of me. There was no line. It was just us. and there was this attendant square middle of the room, blocking the throne and Jack, just like standing there trying to wave you on. And I definitely noticed that a lot in all of the houses, but this one especially.
Yeah, they were really trying to push people along this year compared to some other years.
And even when there was no one in the house, I feel like they kept trying to get us to run through the house.
Don't know why. We really never jumped on a line that was more than an hour long, so don't get what the big rush was compared to others. But as for the house, I mean, if you've been to Halloween Horror Nights
my favorite,
before, you'll obviously recognize the characters. If this is your first or only been to one or two, you're probably not going to get who these people are, but it was still a good house. That the characters are pretty cool and unique. And the
usher has his own few rooms, which was my favorite.
Yep, and Jack at the end is pretty cool too. So.
But this is definitely a not to miss house. We only waited for a little bit more than half an hour.
It is one of the longer waits, I think.
Yeah, all the night it had a pretty steady 60-minute wait.
Yeah. So we managed to get this one done pretty quickly compared to what it was for most of the night. Revenge of the Tooth Fairy. This is, later on in the night. We got in at 12:50, 10 minutes. I mean, it was literally almost a walk on.
Yep.
This was one of the houses that was in the semi-event last year, and it hasn't changed at all. But still cool
definitely
story.
One of his favorites.
Yeah, I like the concept of the Tooth Fairy killing kids, I guess. It was different and something I haven't seen before.
Except there's a movie where there's a Tooth Fairy that
I haven't seen that movie then.
Kids.
No. Okay. Well, but either way, I don't know. I thought the concept was cool and executed well. So
definitely very detailed house. I like this one a lot too. Not one of my top 5, but definitely a cool one. All right, so Beetlejuice was our 10th house. And there's definitely parts of the night that I didn't think would be able to do 10 houses, but we were able to pull it off and then some. But this was quick in and out, 15 minutes. Definitely a cool house. I actually had never seen Beetlejuice up until the day after we came home from Halloween Horror Nights, so a lot of it I didn't get. But you had watched it beforehand, so you probably have more.
Yeah, if you watch the movie, you can kind of get a lot of the references. It follows the movie pretty well. Really cool giant puppet at the very end of the house, which is cool, and Beetlejuice kind of roasting everyone right at the entrance is also pretty funny. For anyone who's actually afraid of Halloween Horror Nights and going to the event,
this is a good house to start with.
Yeah, it's more of a funny, look at that from the movie kind of house rather than actually trying to scare you, even though it does have characters in it, obviously, but definitely more of a humorous house like Ash vs. Evil Dead in previous years.
Which is my favorite.
And, some other ones, but really true to the movie, and for Beetlejuice fans, you'll definitely like it. Mm-hmm. And then we went through again, as I said, 3.
We did our 10 houses, so we went through a couple repeats. They were all walk-ons. We went through Hill House again, Harry again, and then Wicked to end the night. And then while we were going through the houses, we went through the scare zones a bunch of times. But we kind of just made it a point to do one loop around the park slowly to try and get everything from the scare zone. The first one was, I think it's just 30 Years, 30 Fears. Mm-hmm. Nothing really special about this one.
Yeah, short. It's just, cool sign walking in to see a couple people up on platforms and whatnot with different costumes, and this cool looking guy on stilts.
Yeah, some cool costumes.
But other than that, it's just short and just kind of a welcome to the event kind of thing. Then this scare zone is called Seek and Destroy.
Or is it Seek and Destroy?
No, Seek and Destroy. And the concept here is the controller and his minions in these kind of white hazmat suits are collecting humans to get their blood, which are supposedly blood in those containers there. And
this is definitely one I want to spend some more time in. They do have a stage towards the park area, which I'm not sure if they do some sort of mini show on. But we stood around for a couple minutes and didn't see anything. But this is a location they do purge in a lot of time, which I think is just perfect for this area. This one wasn't my favorite of the night.
Yeah, no, mine neither. But
again, we didn't spend a lot of time in it, so I feel like we can't really.
But different than Zombies and Purge.
Yeah.
So
Different is nice sometimes.
Yeah. And coming up on a little stage, it's at the beginning if you're walking in from the entrance. It looks like they were mostly just, they didn't have any specific lines. They were just kind of interacting with people walking by a little bit. But some pretty cool setups, a bunch of like, skeletons that would drain the blood and a whole bunch of vats of blood. But again, not too crazy. They did have some chainsaw guys in here, one of which just passed. They didn't really have a chainsaw crew running around this year.
Because they've probably taken up chainsaws.
Yeah, maybe they threw all the chainsaws in there, but they did have some chainsaws there, and I think Eddie and Eddie's Revenge Scare Zone also had a chainsaw. But other than that, no roaming chainsaw crew this year.
Mm-hmm. The next one was the Crypt TV in San Francisco, which I think was my favorite of the night. I've never seen Crypt TV, but I definitely want to watch some of the episodes this was based on. They had different stages with like different episodes based on each stage, which I thought was really cool. They had the episodes playing in the background of some of them. I think this one was really unique. I really liked this one.
Yeah, for people who have watched these episodes, it'll mean a lot more. Mm-hmm. It did feel a little bit like an ad with a lot of screens showing, trailers and snippets from the TV series. I mean, definitely where they should be advertising, I guess. But yeah, some really unique and different mini sets. There's another Stilt Walker. There's Stilt Walker in pretty much every Scare Zone this year. But, short, cool, a lot of different characters, no set theme. Again, they're individual episodes from the show, so no one mini set is alike. This guy in a bathroom, very interesting. But yeah, we'll have to watch and kind of get the background on all these characters and go through it again in October. And then next, this is Gorewood Forest.
Yeah, and this Scare Zone, this area always kills me with Scare Zones because I feel like they're always the same. And I know everyone was really excited about this one because it was the Terror Queen, but I don't know. Like, I liked it when it was Trick or Treat and it was a little bit different, but I feel like this Scare Zone is always some sort of like woody, rocky stuff with vines on it. And I mean, I get you work with what you have, but
yeah, they do have some pretty cool lighting on the trees as they have been doing the past few years. Not as cool as, and they had jack-o'-lanterns all in those trees.
For a few years, I think.
Yeah, in the past, but still cool. This character here kind of had a nice hidey hole where he uses part of his costume and his long hands to hide and pop out. I saw them getting people a bunch of times during the night. Definitely the best spot. I mean, you can't really hang out here and watch people get scared like some of the other Scare Zones because of the tightness of it, but it is the tightness of it that kind of gets people in your face and, have people freak out more often. And it is a dark area of the park, so it works out well. And the next one and final Scare Zone, which is immediately right when coming in from the entrance, is Hollywood section, White's Camera Haction.
This was another one of my favorites. Again, it had like different stages with different Scare Zones of the past where they were like filming a movie, and they had Eddie Wright in the middle. Again, I liked the fact that it was different all the way through. I don't know if they're doing shows at each of the different stages. I think that would be something kind of cool, like when they had the icons one in this area. Each icon had like their own little mini 5-minute thing. We didn't spend that much time in it, so we couldn't see, but it's something I hope they do, but I'm not 100% sure.
Nice to walk with. But, yeah, I mean, and then Eddie is right in the center with, I think, there it is. And, it was cool. A lot of HHN icons and the entrance and this, it's all kind of paying homage to people who have gone to the event multiple years like ourselves. So to those who are brand new to the event, it's just going to seem like a mismatch of a whole bunch of different scenes, but us, we kind of get it. But it was pretty cool, all in all. And
houses are definitely the highlight of the show.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. All around pretty cool.
Yeah. And that is how we did 10 houses, 5 scare zones, 2 shows, 3 stops for food, and then 3 additional houses in one night without the express pass. So it's definitely very possible if you keep moving all night and don't really take too many stops. But if you're on a budget, you're not looking to spend $180 on the express, 100% doable.
Yeah. Just stick with the 5 tips. And unless you get a really unlucky night where it's just absolutely packed to the brim, you should be able to get through everything.
For sure.
Here's us leaving at 2 a.m. or a little
Exactly,
past 2 a.m.
almost,
A little after 2 a.m. because we got out of the house at the back of the park at 2 a.m. So this next part,
A little bonus.
Yeah, this is Cabana Bay Resort, and the line we are standing in is for the Jacked Up Experience. There is another line to the right for people staying at that Cabana Bay Hotel. We were staying at another Universal hotel. Our line was extremely short.
We had 2 people in front of us, I think, and then the Cabana line had like 40 people. So we got in this within 5 minutes, and which is what I would say is how long you should wait for this.
Yeah.
Definitely kind of cringy. Some cool props in there, but at the end of the day, it's a 2-room exhibit where at the end they show a video and try and get everyone to scream, and it's just...
Yeah.
If you're there and it's short, go through it. If not, you're not really missing out too much.
Yeah, it's really not much of anything. Here's the video here, and you can hear some people participated. I guess it depends on the group you're in the rooms with, but it is, I mean, this video literally shows everything there is to see in there.
Yeah.
So do not wait more than 5-10 minutes for this at the most. If you're at Cabana Bay Hotel and want something to do, sure. It might not even be worth coming from another hotel to come and see it, but if you're a big Jack fan, go for it. Mm-hmm. Other than that, this is really it.
Yeah. And we will be back at the event in end of October. So if you have any hints or tricks that we didn't mention that you think work for you, just let us know. If you have any questions about anything regarding the event, just leave a comment.
Yeah, and if this video helped you at all in getting the most out of your trip, feel free to throw us a like or subscribe for future videos. We're going to try to add to it.
Maybe vlog come October.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this goes. And but thanks for watching, and enjoy Halloween Horror Nights.